What? This is completely inaccurate. That is not what Nathan Drake is like. And Victor Sully would never do that. Yeah, I can't come at this movie from that angle because I've never played any of the Uncharted games and I know very little about them. I'd probably feel very differently if I was more familiar with the source material, but as it is, to me it's simply a very standard, somewhat subpar action-adventure movie that for the most part just goes through the motions of the genre. There's a legendary treasure, there's some globetrotting, there's a young individual who longs for adventure, there's a sleazy mentor, there's a double-crosser, there's a group of cartoon character villains, etc., 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 and it really doesn't do anything particularly exceptional or unique. I guess all I can really do is go through the reasons why I consider it subpar instead of par. For one, Mark Wahlberg. Even without being familiar with the character that he's probably completely butchering, his performance in this was really not good. Everything he said reminded me of his infamous, "What? No!" from The Happening.
What? No!
I thought Tachi Gabrielle's character could be quite annoying as well, though that probably more comes down to me not liking that character type very much. I eventually started treating it as a punchline whenever she showed up, and that actually made things a bit better. She also did do one thing towards the end that actually subverted my expectations a bit, but that's it. A lot of the visual effects were also really distractingly bad. One example is the plane scene that the movie opens on. The whole thing is a total flop because no part of it looks even a little bit convincing. Every shot is either an extreme close-up where you can barely tell what's happening and literally could have been filmed anywhere, or a wider shot where the actors are replaced with completely weightless and highly undetailed CG models. They look like they were taken from a video game that came out 15 years ago. The same can be said for the climactic action scene with the ships, only there it's even worse because of how much the scene is already pushing the audience's suspension of disbelief on a conceptual level. Finally, one more issue I had is that towards the end, the movie kinda just completely forgets about the MacGuffins and why they're supposed to be important. It's explicitly stated that the whole reason the original 18 or whatever they were called created two keys was because they didn't trust each other and created a system where no one person could betray everyone else and take the treasure for themselves. But in the movie, the keys were only needed to find where the treasure was, which all of the original 18 would already have known because they're the ones who hid it. I was really expecting them to come into play one more time after the main characters found where the ships were, but the movie just completely forgets about them. It'd be like if Area 51 kept its location a secret, but if someone happened to find it, they'd be allowed to just waltz in freely. So, from the perspective of somebody who doesn't really know the games, it's not the worst, it's just kind of bad. And there's really not much else I can say.